My guests tonight are two prominent members of this upcoming event that's happening tomorrow morning in Dalgety Bay. And rather than me going on some spiel about it, have a listen to this.
Welcome to Dalgety Bay Pushcart Derby 3 in aid of Cancer Research UK. The competitors are lined up at the pit lane near the challenging St David's Business Park for the start. The winner will receive a trophy from the Blues Brothers tribute band before playing at P in the Park. And I can see the clubhouse are also ready with the beer tent if you need a quick pint. There's baths, skips and hammers in the pits. But can anyone beat last year's winners, the Bayside Bullets? Find out by searching Pushcart Derby on Facebook and join us on Saturday 23rd of July, 11 a.m. at St David's Business Park. Before the flag goes up on Dalgety Bay Pushcart Derby 3.
Now, that's my go at motorsport commentary. Maybe there's a future in me as a motorsport commentator, but I think we'll wait and see on that one. That, of course, is the Dalgety Bay Pushcart Derby that's happening tomorrow at St David's Business Park. It's in their third year running, and in total for the last 2 years they've raised about £16,000. They've also got a concert after that, so if you don't really fancy the race, but you fancy a bit of music, and all the other stalls are there as well. And two people that are probably the best qualified people to talk about that are Stuart Prentice, the Vice Chairman of the Dalgety Bay Pushcart Derby, along with his colleague and Fire and Effect member, Andrew Copp. So guys, welcome to the Friday Night Lounge.
How you doing, Matthew?
So, what is the Pushcart Derby, for those who don't know?
It starts off in the morning as a pushcart race, which is going back to the old-fashioned bogies. Pushed by two members, driven by usually a younger, more lenient person in the cart. A couple of times around the track. They're timed laps. There's usually sort of between 10 and 15 competitors. There's medals obviously for the first three on the podium, but the whole idea is to have a bit of fun. Everyone's got to build their own cart up. Weird and wonderful designs, as you mentioned in the wee trailer there. There's been toilets, baths, hammers. There's been some built in the shape of skips and things like that. A lot of local businesses use it to advertise. Afterwards, there's a big party basically after it. 13 live bands, all one after the other. Very, very quick changeovers in between them. A huge mixture of music, and the whole idea is to have fun and raise money for cancer research at the same time.
Nice one. And in terms of the format, what's the format of the Pushcart Derby? Now, I understand that the competitors go at one at a time, but they can go two at a time if they're incredibly slow, like an HRT in Formula One.
Yep, there has been a few times that there's been laps or teams lapped on the track.
That's possible.
There's been a few times that some have been that slow. There's been people jumped in and given them a slight push as well. But yeah, I mean, the idea is they get so long in between the carts, and there will be times that there'll be a couple pass each other on there.
Are you willing to name who is exactly the slowest out of the last 3 years of that you've been doing this Pushcart Derby?
Until we were able to get new pushers today, probably. It was probably likely to be us this year. Last year there was a team in from Cat's Candles that built it themselves, basically pushed it for a bit of fun, entered the spirit in it, thoroughly enjoyed themselves. And Paul McGinley with his toilet last year was quite slow because of the sheer weight of the toilet that he was pushing round. So.
I can just picture it in my head just now, a toilet going very, very slowly. I don't know why. But how did the idea of this? Frankly, it's a really interesting and peculiar way of fundraising. So, how did the idea of this whole Pushcart Derby come about?
Peculiar and weird probably sums me and Mark up. it was our idea going back 3 years ago now. We're round at his house, had all the bands. We've been in the entertainment industry for a long, long time. Had all the bands, had all the contacts, and thought, what excuse can we have to pull them all together? And the advert for Cool Runnings came on the telly, and the two of us sort of looked at each other and thought, that's it, that's what we're going to do. And it just came about from there. What started off as can we possibly pull it together has turned into a huge event. So.
And of course, you've also done bits and pieces for another cancer research event that has some relation to the Pushcart Derby.
In the past I've done work for Relay for Life. We did the first 3 years of that in Dalgety Bay, doing the music side of it. And I've been involved with fundraising for cancer research for a few years myself. I do a lot of fundraisers and things in between as well. But Relay for Life was what got us involved in the first place, and that's why me and Mark wanted to keep the money going to cancer research.
And is that the reason why that you decided to include a concert feature in the Pushcart Derby, to include everyone into the event, as it were?
Yeah, partly. I mean, we wanted it to be a family event. We felt we're really for life. They raise a lot of money. It's a great event, but people tend to walk around a track for 24 hours. That's the idea of it. We felt they don't really get the support that they should get. You know, their friends and family will come up to support them, but there's not a lot of the public get involved. And we decided we wanted an event, one, to raise awareness, and two, to just have a little bit of fun in Dalgety Bay.
And did you? And I've heard the term "pea in the bay." Now, it's obviously part of the pea in the bay, but just give us, for everyone who doesn't live in Dalgety Bay, what is pea in the bay? Describe what it is.
Pea in the Bay is the concert side at the back of it. We originally, the first year, had to call it the after show party or after race party for the licensing reasons. It meant that one licence covered both events. We called it Party in the Bay. That was when all the posters and people at Dalgety Bay tagged it as Pea in the Bay. As we were walking around the shops, that's what people were talking about, and it's just stuck since. So that's the concert side. It's like Tea in the Park. We've basically got Pea in the Bay. It's all local bands and a big festival atmosphere.
And it's not just the concert. You don't just have the concert there. You also have various stalls from various local businesses. So tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of community stalls with businesses either advertising or jewellery stalls. We've got henna tattoos and things like that there, handbag stalls. We've got a big craft fair as well, and part of the craft fair will be a kids zone where the kids can go in and build their own stuff out of paper. There's face painting, magicians, clowns, all that sort of thing going on as well. So there's lots of wee stalls, all making money for themselves, selling their own stuff, but they've all paid a donation to be there as well. So,
and speaking of local businesses, you get a very good response from local businesses, don't you, for this event?
Very well supported, yes. We do well. Me and Mark have always had contacts again with local businesses, and very, very well supported by them. It's amazing the help we get. Right down to yesterday, there was a big raised curb that we needed to get stuff across.
Yes.
Guy from Russell Landscapes came down, dumped a whole load of concrete and things in front of it, and took the curb away. So, one wee phone call, and they're quite happy to drop things and come down and help us.
Excellent. And the Clubhouse and Fourth Dimensions are your prominent sponsors, and I believe they've got some karts in competition this year.
The Fourth Dimensions will have. The Clubhouse, I think, have decided it might not be a good idea.
Oh, right, okay, so yeah.
But they're supplying the beer tent, and obviously a lot of their ground will be used up with it. But I think they're still 50-50 at the moment. Or whether it's all down to staffing levels tomorrow. It will depend on how busy they are tomorrow as well.
So the Clubhouse services are really for the pit stop services,
I think
pardon
so.
the pun.
Yes,
You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. That's how my mind works. Now, Pea in the Bay, it's actually, from what you've been telling me whilst we were looking into the Pushcart Derby, it actually gets about roughly 3 times as much as the people that come to the actual event. Can you explain why it's maybe more successful than the Pushcart Derby?
I think it's just the people we get. I mean, last year was about 1,500 people through the gate, not all at the same time, so they tend to come and go and drift back and forward during the day. The pushcart race itself is people, they'll bring the kids along, and the kids will have a wee bit fun, and then I think they tend to leave them with grandparents and come along themselves and enjoy the beer tent at the same time. But it's live music, it's live bands, live entertainment. It's not every day you're going to get that on your doorstep in Dalgety Bay.
Exactly, especially when you see a lot of the unsigned music scene around the Dunfermline sort of Edinburgh area.
A lot of very, very good bands out there, yep.
And
the man sitting next to me knows all about. He's in one of them. So.
I think he's been very quiet on this one, so I think we'll bring Andrew Copp into this one. Andrew Copp is, of course, part of Fire and Effect that we had on a few months back. So just tell us your role, first of all, in the Pushcart Derby.
Well, we got roped into it the first year of it through... my mum knew somebody who was on the committee, and then kind of got in that way and got my friends involved and stuff. That's how we got the band playing at it. But yeah, we've just been involved so far in just setting stuff up and helping stuff run smoothly on the day. Setting tents up, getting rid of wasps' nests, and putting banners up and things.
The joys of management, basically.
Exactly that.
And obviously you're playing tomorrow along with the other guys in Fire and Effect. How do you feel about the doing the gig? Are you all stoked up, ready?
Yeah, we've had a lot of preparation for it. I mean, we're ready for it. We've got some new songs to go out and stuff, so should be good. Hopefully get a good reception. Is this
going on your brand new EP that you're developing by any chance?
It will be, yes, it will be,
right.
Which I'm sure we'll get another interview with you about.
Hopefully. This time with a release date, hopefully. We can press for that one. But, so... Where do you see the Pushcart Derby going in the next year or so?
Well, I think the next couple of years, I reckon it'll be still kind of in Dalgety Bay, but I think there was talks of moving it further afield, making it a bigger event. You know what I mean? Like making it more of a 2-day thing, and making it more bands and stuff like that. So that should be good if it happens to come. A
2-day event. For some reason, I can picture Pushcart Derby 24 hours for some reason.
We've got I mean, obviously we hope it grows and grows every year, and we hope it gets to the stage that it outgrows our current venue, and we can move it to a 2-day one. We have 1 or 2 venues on the upper sleeve should that happen, but that's the dream, that it does become that big.
Speaking about the venue, why did you just choose St David's Business Park?
It's ideal for the race course. The first year we did it, we used a venue for the concert at the other side of Dalgety Bay, but it was a fair hike from the racetrack. Where we are now, the business park, we can close the roads off. It's not used at weekends, so we can actually close that road. It's quite a testing track. It's twice round that, but the venue for the concert is right next to it this year. So the intention is that people watch the race, come into the concert venue, we'll present the trophies, and it will be the Blues Brothers that will present the trophy, and the hope is that a lot of them stay, and obviously more people come to join them for the concert.
So it's a fairly centralised location, basically.
Yes.
And you had more ambitious plans in terms of a circuit. So you were telling me you were thinking about doing one on the Fife Coastal Path. Now that would be a Pushcart Derby rally.
Yeah,
I'd like to see that.
The initial plan the first year was our venue was going to be the sailing club in Dalgety Bay. The logistics of it proved to be impossible, basically. But the plan was to race more or less from the clubhouse down St David's Drive and right the way along the coastal path. It was going to be, it was a good couple of miles along there, and that was the goal. But when we had to move the concert venue, then we just decided we needed a track, and that one proved perfect. So.
And I'm just picturing it just now, the Fife Coastal Path as the track. Although there's logistic problems in that, it would be an actual huge physical challenge to do all that. There's lots of uphill bits and there's lots of downhill bits, so you've got potential for crashes and spills. So I suppose that would add to the excitement of the sport.
Yes. The other thing, but the reason we changed it from there was that it's not as much of a spectator route. We'd have had to close Harbour Drive, which would have caused a nightmare in the first place.
Oh, right, of course it's a riot, yes.
In terms of spectators along the actual coastal path, it maybe wasn't as appealing, and we also believe that it might have put some people off. We get local businesses enter because they see it as being a little bit advertising for them, but there's a few of them wouldn't have coped with a 2.5 mile push along hills and things like that.
But if you didn't have all the logistical problems, would you still do would you consider doing a spin-off event, doing it on this sort of circuit?
Maybe. Again, we've been approached by Cancer Research to roll it out over other places in Scotland, or to at least advise other places in Scotland. So again, going forward, if there are other places round about want to do it, we want the final to be in Dalgety Bay. So the winner of each heat would come and compete at our one. And we'd still have the fun side of ours, but there'd obviously be a slightly more competitive side there too. So if that was the case, then we might consider a slightly tougher route for them as well.
I look forward to that. And just before we round off the interview, Radio West Fife will actually be at the Pushcart Derby tomorrow morning. So if you do see myself, Matthew Hansen, and Doreen Murray about with a microphone and headphones, and generally me looking like a complete and utter idiot, then do say hi, and we'll get you on the show. So just one final thing, how can we see the Pushcart Derby?
The venue is just behind the BP station, the clubhouse in Dalgety Bay. Entry this year is free. We are encouraging donations on the gate because it's for cancer research, but it's just a case of turn up. There's well signposted in, there's entrance gates in there, everyone's welcome. Children are welcome. It's a family day. That's what we want it to be. And there's plenty going on, so it's just a case of turn up, and it'd be great to see everyone there.
Excellent. And fingers crossed it won't rain like last year.
It's not meant to, going by the forecast. It's meant to be a nice day tomorrow, but it is Scotland.
Touch wood, touch wood. So, okay, that's great. Thanks very much, guys, for coming into the Friday Night Lounge.
Thank you for having us.
That was Andrew Copp and Stuart Prentice of the Dalgety Bay Pushcart Derby. That's happening tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock at St David's Business Park in Dalgety Bay. Radio West Fife will be there, so hope to see you there.